Don Laurentino, el referee.
Cuando yo les diga fuera, se prepara inmediatamente a tirar golpe. En caso de una caída, se va inmediatamente a la esquina más lejana para empezar rápidamente el conteo. Hay que tener mucho cuidado con la cabeza. Ya saben que si comenta faltas y cosas de reglamento se le resta puntos, todo. ¿Está claro? Al único que gane el mejor.
Después de las instrucciones, vuelven a su cuartel cada quien. Y ahora el turno es para el señor Jorge Sandoval, tomador en tiempo, que hará sonar la campana, la señal para poner en movimiento esta pelea a 4 rounds en la división de peso mosca de pantalón blanco. Marco Antonio Barrera, su contrincante Federico Lara. Este último vistiendo el pantaloncillo negro, de igual peso, uno y otro, 50 kilos con 800 gramos. Los dos en la Guardia Natural. El de blanco, Marco Antonio Barrera, 16 años de edad. Empezó a hacer sus pinitos en el boxeo cuando andaba por ahí por los 8 años. Actualmente tiene 16. Sostuvo 60 peleas como aficionado. Es increíble. Estamos hablándoles de Marco Antonio Barrera de pantalón blanco. De las 60 peleas como aficionado ganó 56. 2 torneos de guantes de oro en categoría juvenil, coronado en ambos, 85 y 87. Juvenil del Distrito Federal. Segundo lugar en el torneo Horacio Ramírez Mercado, el torneo que lleva el nombre del jefe de los servicios médicos de la Comisión de Box del Distrito Federal. Como profesional, el joven Barrera tiene 4 peleas, las 4 ganadas, 2 por decisión y 2 por nocaut. Su contrincante, Federico Lara, pantaloncillo negro, nació hace 22 años en Peralvillo. Actualmente vive en la colonia Progreso Nacional. 7 peleas profesionales, 4 ganadas y 3 perdidas. 23 peleas como aficionado. En guantes de oro llegó a cuartos de final. En la Copa Ciudad de México a semifinal. Y en su última pelea le ganó por decisión aquí en esta arena Coliseo, a David Del. Bueno, pues nos han dado tiempo y espacio para platicar con usted sobre sus datos biográficos, breves semblanzas de este par de jóvenes que están aquí buscando la victoria sobre el cuadrilátero. Buen desempeño a base de la mano izquierda del joven de blanco, usándola de jab, y bueno, con una amplísima experiencia en el boxeo de aficionados. 60 peleas, cuando apenas está por cumplir los 16 años de edad. 16 años hace que nació en Iztacalco, aquí en el Distrito Federal, donde sigue viviendo. Buen estilo, buenas hechuras, se notan al joven de pantalón blanco, Marco Antonio Barrera, en un primer episodio que está a punto de terminar, terminó. El joven de blanco, aunque ya les platicamos, ya les informamos que uno y otro pesaron exactamente igual. 50 kilos, 800 gramos. Federico Lara, de pantalón negro, ha actuado casi toda la pelea. Bueno, lo que va de la pelea al contragolpe, yendo hacia atrás y dejándole la ofensiva, el ataque a Marco Antonio Barrera. Este joven Barrera está invicto en el boxeo profesional y está buscando esta noche su 5ª victoria en el boxeo rentable. Desde luego estamos aquí en presencia de un segundo episodio mucho más movido, más dinámico que el inicial. Uno y otro empleándose más a fondo, sobre todo Barrera, el de pantalón blanco. Marco Antonio Barrera está estudiando, tiene 16 años y va a ingresar ya en un mes o cosa parecida a la preparatoria 2, que está por allá por el rumbo de Churubusco, acá en el Distrito Federal. Le resulta cómodo a Federico Lara actuar esperando que entre su contrincante. Eso no quiere decir que haya dominado la pelea, por el contrario, creemos que va ligeramente adelante en la puntuación el hombre de blanco, Marco Antonio Barrera. Federico Lara es impresor de oficio. Muy activo con la mano izquierda. Marco Antonio Barrera, igual que en el primer episodio, en este segundo que está terminando.
Aquí vemos las acciones de este segundo episodio, más activo con la mano izquierda Marco Antonio Barrera, pero casi todas las ofensivas de Barrera fueron a la cara de su adversario, buscando la cabeza. En pocas ocasiones se animó a disparar abajo, ahí lo hacía en forma de gancho, buscando la región hepática de su adversario en una buena táctica, buscando combinar y casi cediendo toda la iniciativa Federico Lara a su rival en este episodio. Aquí trastabilló, no había riesgo de caída, simplemente perdió el paso a la hora en que estaba contraatacando Federico Lara, en una pelea que ha resultado muy interesante, técnicamente bien dotados los dos peleadores, y nos vamos a ir en un momento más al tercer episodio aquí en la Arena Coliseo.
Fuera seconds y la campana. Penúltimo episodio de este cotejo, de esta entrevista entre Marco Antonio Barrera, el de blanco, y Federico Lara. Sale en actitud agresiva para este round Federico Lara, el de pantaloncillo negro, lo que significa un cambio de táctica en el desarrollo del combate, porque hasta ahora el que se había mantenido al ataque era Barrera, el de blanco. Aquí pretende arrebatarle la iniciativa a Federico Lara, y hay una breve interrupción. El público no se enteró porque Laurentino Ramírez interrumpió brevemente la acción, pero retornaron pronto a ella, sobre todo Marco Antonio Barrera, disparando golpes a ritmo casi de M1 y conectando la mayor parte de sus envíos. También Federico Lara en las respuestas acierta, es decir, tiene buena puntería, precisión en su golpeo. Un uppercut, muy malas intenciones, y luego este derechazo y el gancho de izquierda de parte de Barrera, que está tundiéndole bien y bonito en este tercer episodio a Federico Lara, que descuidó un instante, una fracción de segundo, y en ese momento le metió el gancho de izquierda Marco Antonio Barrera, con los resultados que acaban de ver ustedes. Lo mandó a la lona, se levantó a tiempo, y aquí se reanuda la acción del tercer episodio. Vuelve a caer Federico Lara, mueve la cabeza, trata de incorporarse, le completan la cuenta de 8, levanta los brazos y ya no permite el referee que continúe la acción. 2 caídas, y bueno, pues continúa invicto en el boxeo profesional de este Marco Antonio Barrera, que la verdad de las cosas se vio muy bien. Una amplia experiencia en el boxeo de aficionados, con 60 peleas desde que tenía 8 años de edad. y solamente 4, y con estas 5 como profesional, 3 ganadas por nocaut, la de hoy inclusive, y 2 por decisión. Se ve bastante bien este chamaco Marco Antonio Barrera.
Y aquí lo tenemos, señoras y señores, en la repetición. Muy rápido de manos este joven Marco Antonio Barrera, y como decía don Antonio Andere, muy certero, conectando casi todos, no falló Marco Antonio Barrera, y está logrando una victoria por la vía del knockout. Aquí el referee interviene, le aplica la cuenta, le daba la oportunidad de que se incorpore, pero ya no podía continuar, así que parece muy buena la intervención del referee al parar así la contienda y declarar la victoria para Marco Antonio Barrera. Un buen prospecto, don Antonio.
Pues a mí me parece que sí se vio bastante bien, bastante completo, con un buen repertorio de golpes.
De esta pelea por nocaut técnico a los 2 minutos 14 segundos del tercer asalto, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Bueno, pues ya están enterados ustedes, 2 minutos 14 segundos del tercer episodio. Se consumó la victoria por nocaut técnico.
En esa otra, de 52 kilos 500 gramos, Juan Facundo López.
Marco Antonio Barrera, no Marcos Barrera, como dijeron, Marco Antonio Barrera, de 52.700.
El señor Gelacio Pérez Huerta.
Y Juan Facundo López, 52.500. El referee Gelacio Pérez.
Jóvenes, sigan las instrucciones que les den los vestidores, dense la mano y que ganen mejor.
El caso de este chamaco Marco Antonio Barrera es especial, viene de una familia de escenógrafos cinematográficos. Su padre y toda su familia son famosos escenógrafos ahí desde los estudios Churubusco. Este chamaco Marco Antonio Barrera, a la vez que combina su tarea como estudiante de preparatorio rumbo a una carrera de leyes, también hace trabajos de escenografía en el negocio de su señor padre. Tiene 11 peleas, las 11 ganadas. Va invicto, fue el preliminarista de 1990. El chamaco todo de blanco con su apellido ahí en la parte trasera del pantalón. Lleva una racha impresionante de victorias. En este año, en febrero 9, noqueó técnicamente en el cuarto Esteban Rodríguez, y en el quinto Abel Hinojosa el 9 de marzo. Se ve bien, hay escuela y sobre todo trae una porra nutrida. Se enfrenta a Juan Facundo López, que por su parte en este año no ha combatido aquí en la capital. Su última pelea del año del 90 la ganó por descalificación en 8 rounds a Noé Santillana. Y antes había el mismo día, y ahí está cayendo ya Juan Facundo López con un certero disparo del chamaco Marco Antonio Barrera, el nativo de Iztacalco, Distrito Federal. Estoy bien, le dicen a Gelacio Pérez, pero ya está listo para la puntilla y es certero golpeador Marco Antonio Barrera. Como mete los puños de gancho de izquierda, el jab de izquierda, preparando el viaje de la mano derecha. Se ve bien este chamaco Marco Antonio Barrera. Ahí va con la derecha arriba, en el mismo lugar en donde derribó a López. Otro gancho de izquierda arriba y se va hacia atrás descoyuntado Juan Facundo López, exponiéndose a un golpe de counter alocado. Entra sin embargo Marco Antonio Barrera con mucha frialdad, cortando la salida del adversario, como hacen los grandes maestros del cuadrilátero, lloviendo golpes en corto con mucha velocidad y algo de puntería. Le falló algo en la puntería ahí a Barrera, y sigue presionando sobre Juan Facundo López, que ya sangra por la nariz. Jab izquierdo, más que jab, fue casi un recto con la mano izquierda. Este también echa contra las cuerdas a Juan Facundo. Ahí lo recibe con el gancho de izquierda y se va casi abrazándose de su adversario a la lona, aunque sí lo habían tocado, pero no marcan como caída oficial esta. Sin embargo, está tocado Juan Facundo López, acercándose poco a poco con pasos cortos, bien replegada su guardia. Marco Antonio Barrera trata de escapar, lo pasan con el gancho de izquierda, interviene Gelacio cuando hacía el segundo viaje a la lona. Juan Facundo que trata de protestar, pero realmente estaba súper tocado. Y más vale pecar por más que por menos, y más precauciones que por menos de ellas. Y aquí Gelacio Pérez marca la victoria de Piente. Esta es su pelea número 12 y su victoria número 12. Estaba ya tocado ahí Juan Facundo López. Intervino exactamente Gelacio Pérez a parar la pelea para evitar mayor castigo. No tenía caso que siguiera la pelea. Vamos a escuchar ya únicamente el resultado oficial.
Vencedor por nocaut técnico a los 2 minutos 45 segundos del primer round, Marco A. Barrera. Marco Antonio Barrera.
Trae su porra.
En esta otra de Ocotlán, Jalisco, de 52 kilos, 100 gramos, Antonio Águila.
Mismo peso, Antonio Águila, 52-100. 52-100. Antonio Barrera, 52-100. Don Gelacio Pérez, el referee en turno para esta pelea, en la que estará haciendo una actuación más Marco Antonio Barrera, un peleador al que no quitarle la vista de encima. Vamos a escuchar a don Gelacio.
Hagamos una pelea limpia y emotiva. Dense la mano y que gane el mejor.
Rápido, como debe ser. Ya más o menos se sabe de qué se trata. Regresan a sus cuarteles Antonio Barrera de blanco y Antonio Águila de negro. Vamos a ver si sigue adelante la carrera de Marco Antonio Barrera, hermano del Jorge que acabamos de ver. Y con la misma característica, su apellido en la parte trasera del pantalón, a todo lo ancho de la parte trasera del pantalón. Vamos a ver la actuación de Marco Antonio Barrera y a ver qué armas porta el debutante jalisciense. Por de pronto ahí ya le dio una receta Marco Antonio Barrera, que se lanza con una tormenta de golpes sobre el jalisciense. Interviene Gelacio Pérez y sin saber qué pasa todavía, Antonio Águila dice: ¿qué pasó? Yo solo sentí que se abatió una tormenta como la granizada que cayó ayer por la tarde aquí en el altiplano azteca, y en menos de un minuto, o por lo menos así se me hizo, menos de un minuto, termina la presentación. Yo creo que despedida también del jalisciense Antonio Águila, y la victoria otra vez en el primer episodio de Marco Antonio Barrera. Aquí está Águila, a querida madre patria. Rápida victoria. Sí había terminado su anterior triunfo en el primer episodio sobre Juan Francisco López, y vamos a ver en cuánto tiempo, a ver si fue menos de un minuto. Más se tardaron en quitarle la bata que en acabar la pelea.
Por nocaut técnico a los 32 segundos del primer round, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Pues parte de la gente silba porque querían ver más acción, pero pues la verdad es que Antonio Águila se vio que no tenía con qué detener esta avalancha.
Coliseo. Marco Antonio Barrera, el hombre de pantaloncillo en blanco, y el de oscuro es Miguel Pina. Suena la campana y está arrancando ya el primer episodio de este combate estelar en división Super Mosca. 53 kilogramos para Barrera, 52,200 para el colimense Miguel Pina. Recordamos en la última actuación que tuvo Marco Antonio Barrera dentro de este escenario el pasado 4 de noviembre contra Javier Suzuki Díaz. Chaparrito que se le dificultó demasiado a Marco Antonio Barrera, pero que finalmente una colmillada de Suzuki Díaz que no le resultó, le dio la victoria a Barrera, que aquí se mete en problemas contra las cuerdas, recibiendo derechas e izquierdas por conducto de Pina. Instantes de sorpresa para Marco Antonio Barrera, el novato invicto todavía dentro del terreno profesional, 17 años de edad. Conecta con la izquierda y la derecha a la lona. No le duró prácticamente nada. Cuando Marco Antonio Barrera se siente atosigado por los adversarios, es precisamente lo que hace, lo mismo que mostró, como él mencionó, frente a Abel Hinojosa. Cuando sentía que podía caer a la lona, se fue hacia el frente y se llevó la victoria. Lo mismo que sucede en estos instantes frente a Miguel Pina, que queda tendido dentro de la superficie del encordado. De inmediato se levantó Horacio Ramírez Mercado. Algo presenció después de los golpes de Marco Antonio Barrera para que el médico en turno de la Comisión de Box y Lucha del Distrito Federal se haya levantado rapidísimo para ir al cuadrilátero y verificar qué es lo que le sucede al colimense. Quiso sorprender y salió sorprendido Miguel Pina, que hacía su aparición aquí en la capital de la República Mexicana, que tenía 10 victorias, que tenía 5 derrotas, 2 de ellas, una frente a Isaías Zamudio y otra frente a Javier León, en sus 2 últimas apariciones dentro de los cuadriláteros. Así que aquí de inmediato vamos a poder apreciar una vez más cómo se metía en problemas Marco Antonio Barrera, hasta que decidió definir de esta forma: ganchos de derecha e izquierda, y esa izquierda fue fulminante. La forma en que cayó, prácticamente sin apoyarse Miguel Pina, fue lo que despertó el interés de Horacio Ramírez Mercado, el médico en turno, que aparece aquí trajeado y a la izquierda, para levantarse de inmediato y acudir a la asistencia de Miguel Pina, que todavía no se puede levantar de la superficie. Ya le quitaron los guantes. Horacio Ramírez Mercado haciéndole las preguntas de rigor: el cómo te llamas, en dónde estamos, qué es lo que sucedió, para saber si no tiene ningún tipo de conmoción. Miguel Pina continúa tendido sobre la superficie después de esa clase de golpes que le propinó el novato de 17 años, que continúa invicto dentro del terreno profesional, ya con 15 salidas, 15 victorias, 12 por la vía rápida, 3 decisiones. Esta, la más rápida de todas las que ha tenido. La mayoría de sus combates los había ganado en el segundo, tercero o cuarto episodios. Esta fue apenas unos segundos de haber iniciado el combate estelar en la Arena Coliseo. Y vaya forma de hacer su presentación en la capital de la República este hombre de Manzanillo, Colima, que ya se recupera. Afortunadamente se levanta ya y se va a ir por su propio pie Miguel Pina a los vestidores. La victoria para Marco Antonio Barrera. Vamos a escuchar el tiempo oficial.
El vencedor de esta pelea, por nocaut efectivo a los 57 segundos del primer round, Marco Antonio Barrera.
La imagen del triunfador, Marco Antonio Barrera, una verdadera promesa. Vaya verdaderos ladrillos que tiene en vez de manos Marco Antonio Barrera. Qué forma de pegar, qué forma de colocar los puños en forma de gancho. Prácticamente el único golpe que aplicó a lo largo de todo el combate. Vamos a apreciar uno, este es el segundo, el tercero y el cuarto es el definitivo. 4 ganchos, 2 de derecha, 2 de izquierda, y a la lona Miguel Pina.
and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the nation's top-rated boxing venue, the Great Western Forum in Inglewood, California. Once again, we have a big night of action coming your way, and it's all brought to you by Forum Boxing Incorporated, along with Budweiser, the king of beers. Now presenting the officials as appointed by the California State Athletic Commission. Our physicians at ringside, we have Dr. Robert Carnes, Dr. Michael DeLuca. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns, we have John Lichty and Debbie Garcia. And ladies and gentlemen, we are starting off our evening with a featured bout, the Mexican Super Flyweight Championship. This bout is sanctioned by the Mexican Boxing Commission. Supervisor is Alberto Molina, along with the California State Athletic Commission. The judges at ringside for this championship bout is Lou Moret, Dick Young, and Raul Cais. And introducing the referee in charge, he will be giving instructions after the introductions, Robert Byrd. All right, fans, here we go. Once again, the Mexican Super Flyweight Championship, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing red trunks with white lettering, hailing from Mexico City, la capital de Mexico. His weight is an even 115 pounds. With a record of 15 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw, he has 13 wins by way of knockout. Introducing Esteban Ayala. And his opponent across the ring. On my left, fighting out of the red corner in this 12-round championship bout, he is wearing green trunks with pink trim, also hailing from Mexico City, la capital de Mexico. His weight was also the same at 115 pounds, with a fine, unblemished record of 20 wins, no losses, 14 wins by way of knockout. He is the defending Mexican Super Flyweight Champion, introducing the undefeated Marco Antonio Barrera. Once again, here's the referee in charge, Robert Byrd.
Okay, gentlemen, I gave you instructions in the dressing room. The only thing I'm going to tell you now is when I tell you to stop, that's what I want you to do. When I tell you to break, I want you to break and break clean. Si parado limpio. Okay? Good luck to you.
All right, a championship fight, of course, must go the 12 rounds or less. Tail of the tape, Barrera, 5'7.5", 5.5 inches taller. The weight is the same at 115. The 8-year span in the age department, the younger of the two, Barrera. And look at the reach. 4-inch reach. Barrera, the defending titleist, over Ayala. Robert Byrd, a seasoned referee, will be the third man in the ring. Another championship bout at the Great Western Forum. Round 1, Chick Hearn, along with Ruben Castillo, and away we go. Wow, running into a jab with Ayala. He's much shorter, and that includes the length of his arms. He's a forceful little guy. He's a brawler. He's tough. Hard puncher. Ayala in the red trunks is a give-and-take fighter, and he's really going after the champion here in round number 1. And the champion trying to do some counter-punching.
I don't see him missing very many shots, Chick. His Barrera's landing almost everything he throws.
Between September of 1988 and up until 1991, he had won 10 straight fights. He's only been down once in his life. Not knocked out, just down. The shorter of the two men, Ayala, got to the finals of the Budweiser tournament here last March. Finished with a $10,000 check. Armando Rayon is his handler. Ricardo Maldonado is in the corner of the champion Barrera in the green and pink trunks. Kind of a feeling out round, but right now Barrera must be feeling a little more than Ayala, because Ayala's done a pretty good job here in this round.
Oh, he's felt out all of his face already, Chick. He's felt his nose. He's felt, that's his feeling out. His version of a feeling out round.
Good left jabs followed by the right, and there he ran into 2 left jabs coming from the champ Barrera. As an amateur, the shorter of the two men, Ayala, was 19-1 with 18 knockouts. The champion has great poise. He's just waiting for that opening. He wants to send home one to Ayala, the one that you don't see. Fine jab by Barrera. He's an exciting fighter. He's an excellent boxer. And he's aggressive enough. Right hand is strong. 14 knockouts in his 20 wins. An unblemished record. Never lost. And as we say about some athletes, oh, nice jab by Ayala.
He got on the receiving end of a left hook right after that jab.
Ayala is noted as a fast starter, and he started this one fast, I would say. And then he sometimes slacks off if the fight goes a while. Good. Final 10 seconds of the round. Beautiful jabbing by Barrera. Points to the winner of a round. Unless there's been a knockdown, then it could be 10-8. The loser, if there's no knockdown, would get 9 points. How'd you score that one?
10-9 in favor of Barrera.
The champion in the multicolored trunks. He's got unlimited potential. You know how old he is, folks? 18. He started fighting when he was 7 years old.
I talked to Ricardo Maldonado in the dressing room. He says, Ruben, you got to keep an eye on this kid. This kid is awesome.
Barrera, the title holder, had 60 amateur fights, won 56 of them, and he was 5 times the Mexican national champion. This bout is for the Mexican super flyweight title.
You know, it's funny, Chick, like managers like Angelo Dundee and you know, the great managers. Anytime you've got a following, you've had champions, fighters, good fighters come to you. Same with Ricardo Maldonado. He's had Bazooka Limon. He's had a lot of champions, Ruben Olivares, and all these kids from Mexico, like Barrera. He's come to Ricardo. Ricardo brought him under his wing, brought him here to the Great Western Forum.
Both of these guys are from Mexico City. They didn't come in the same car, though.
No.
They won't go home in the same car.
Absolutely not. And they won't be on speaking terms.
One of them will be very popular when he gets back to Mexico City. Barrera thinks that one day he can be the champion of most anything he wants. Obviously in his weight division, whatever it might be. At 18, he will fill out a little more as the years come along. This is his United States debut, by the way, Barrera, the champ. Tremendous prospect. In his last fight, which was in October, first week of October, he won a 10-round decision. Barrera won the title that he fights for tonight last April, and this is his 3rd title defense. That hit the elbow. It sounded better than it was. Chopping right hand missed by the champion. Ayala throws it on and counter-punching now beautifully as Barrera steps out of the corner. Despite the fact he's 8 years younger than Ayala, he's showing lots of ring cool. That's great size, Ruben, for a super flyweight. 5'7", 150 pounds, long arms.
You know, Chick, he could grow up to be a bantamweight, super bantamweight, and still have that height advantage. Very, very, very good.
Round. Did I hear you correctly, Ruben Castillo? Throw the punches and get him mad? Is that what you're saying?
No, he says throw the punches and get inside.
Oh, all right. Did he win that round also, the champion?
Of course. 20-18 this far.
Nice left hand scored by the challenger, Esteban Ayala. He's a gutty little guy, I'll tell you that. He likes to work the body. Not very good defensively, they tell me. Got a lot of stamina.
Well, you know, Chick, he doesn't have too much mobility. He doesn't have that body movement. He comes right at you.
He's a brawler.
Exactly. When you don't move that head, Chick, you're going to get hit quite often.
He's lost his last 2 fights. And here he is against the Mexican super flyweight title. Once to make the most of this opportunity. These things come along only once in a lifetime. Oh, what a great right hand. Ayala took it right in the jaw. He's hurt. He's trying to hold on.
That uppercut hurt him, Chick.
So did that slash to the right jaw. There he ran into another.
Oh, there's a cut over the eye, Chick.
That was not from a butt, that cut. That was from a solid right hand. I think it's in the corner of the left eye. It looks like that from here.
Oh, another uppercut.
Number 3. And this
he doesn't know where he's at.
He knows where he is now. That's too bad.
That is.
He really
got hit.
Punched out here in this round. And the man that did it, looking for his 15th knockout and 21 wins without a loss. And Robert Byrd's going to count him out, I think. Timeout. Going to have the doctor take a look at the cut. Doctor coming in is Michael DeLuca. Boy, I'll tell you, the kid did a heck of a job of getting up. I just mentioned the word stamina. And he took some terrible
Chick, I want you to know something right now. The kid did not want to go on. He does not want to continue. Look at him. He's busted up. He's got hit many shots. That's it.
He said they can fight.
Oh, no.
Said, go ahead. The cut is on the side of the head. We have got about a minute and 20 seconds left in round number 3. And calmly, patiently, Barrera stood over there and waited. Boy, is he some 18-year-old. Look at Ayala fighting. He's fighting now for his life. I don't mean life and death, but I mean his ring life in this fight.
Those uppercuts are very effective.
He just got one to the gut that really hurt him. Look at Barrera. He doesn't look like the fight started yet.
His hair's still intact.
Ayala's going to go down here again if he leans back just a little bit more. We said that he is not noted for defense, and boy, he took some beating in this round, and he's fighting back, showing the heart of a lion.
As I said, when you're a great manager like Maldonado, great fighters come right to you. Look at this.
Now the cut opens up again on the side of the head. About 20 seconds left in the round.
It's right on the eye, and the eyebrow, Chick.
I heard the doctor say it was in the corner of the eye, but perhaps you're right. He's going to fall forward here in a second if he takes a couple more of those uppercuts. Boy, that's a vicious uppercut, isn't it?
Oh, he's very, very accurate with it.
All right, we're coming near the end of round number 3. I didn't think we'd go. Look out.
Uh-oh.
Robert Byrd comes and gets Ayala, and Ayala got in a couple of swings after the bell. Timeout is called. The doctor will be brought into the ring again, Michael DeLuca, and he'll take a look at it again. As we said, it started to bleed more profusely late in the round. We got a timeout call here. They want to take the towel away so the doctor can look at it. His manager, Armando Rayon, was holding the towel so the doctor couldn't see it. And they're going to let him fight. It's going to go on. No doubt about who won the round. 10-8 would be the scoring. Here's the knockdown. Punch after punch.
Well, you know, he was already hurt, Chick, from an uppercut.
But I'll tell you one thing about this little guy, Esteban Ayala. That's why I say he's tough. He's a brawler. Look at him fight back near the end of the round.
Sure,
Give and take style.
He's been down, he's cut, but he still has that fight in him, you know, Chick?
No se clave y tire bien. Él también se puede ir.
Well, we'll go out to the round number 4.
Si usted trabaja.
Marco Antonio Barrera well ahead on the points, 30-26. What they say to him?
Block his punches and throw. Block and throw. Cover yourself up.
It's easy for the manager, isn't it? All right, here we go. But he's got to tell him what to do, and that's what he did.
Well, after that first knockdown, Chick, I think he's going to covering up is going to come naturally.
He's got to be careful of that uppercut. It's just a devastating blow in the arsenal of punches used by this 18-year-old Barrera. Look at the look on Barrera.
Look at it. He just looks so calm. Look there.
Looks like he's waiting in line at the grocery store. Scheduled for 12 rounds. Championship fight. Barrera dominates in every section of it. Best round by Ayala was the first round. He always opens fast, and he did it tonight. The cut isn't any worse, but it isn't any better either. That did it.
That's it.
Right hand came over the top.
Shit, right on the
caught him flush, right on the button. This fight is over, folks. I don't care what the count goes to, but I don't think they're going to let him fight anymore, and I don't think they should. It's all over. Coming into the ring.
Look at him.
Is
as calm as he can be.
Michael DeLuca, the doctor, and walking back to his corner, the 18-year-old champion who makes his third successful title defense. On the canvas is Esteban Ayala. The knockout for your viewing pleasure once again on Prime Network, coast to coast.
Here you set it up. See that jab? There's that uppercut afterwards. He threw a right hand, landed around the button, and that little uppercut. Left hook up the middle. It's all over.
He's got a good uppercut, hasn't he?
Chick, I can't wait to talk to this kid. This guy's just unbelievable.
He really is. His poise, I said in the first round,
unreal.
His poise is as good as anybody you have ever seen in the ring already. Perhaps not his talent yet, but his poise is. Okay, we'll be back with the official time of the knockout. Fight Night at the Forum on Prime Network in a moment. Tremendous performance by Marco Antonio Barrera of Mexico City, knocking out a city man, Mexico City's Esteban Ayala. Let's get the time from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 1 minute, 20 seconds in round number 4. The referee in charge, Robert Byrd, counts out the opponent. The winner by way of knockout, still undefeated, still the Mexican super flyweight champion, Marco Antonio Barrera.
His opponent, Danny Valdivia, is set to introduce the fighters. Here's Danny.
Here we go, bantamweights, 8 rounds. In the red corner to my left, wearing white and green trunks, from Mexico, Distrito Federal, at an even 118 pounds, undefeated in 28 professional bouts, 19 wins by knockout, Marco Antonio Barrera. And across the ring, in the blue corner, wearing white trunks, also from Mexico, Distrito Federal, at a trim and ready 115 3/4 pounds, with a professional record of 22 wins, 18 losses, 1 draw, 11 wins by knockout, Justo Zuniga.
To check the tail of the tape on Barrera and Zuniga. Barrera's 5'7½", awfully tall for a bantamweight. In fact, he's 3.5 inches taller than Zuniga. 117 3/4. He's got 2-pound pull. He is 6 years younger, and he has 2 inches advantage in the reach department. This young guy is almost Hollywood script stuff. His family is well-to-do in Mexico, very supportive, follow him around the country. He looks like a baby-faced assassin. He has knocked out 19 of the 28 wins he's had in his pro career. And they say that Jose Luis Bueno doesn't want any part of him. But if he wins tonight, he's in line for a shot with Carlos Salazar in a title elimination go. And later in the year, if things go according to this guy's timetable, why, he'll be in against Jose Luis Bueno for the title. Boy, he's a big bantamweight.
Yes, he is. He almost looks like he's a full-grown lightweight.
Yeah.
Looks of it.
Yeah, at least a featherweight, but he's...
At 5'7".
Yeah, 5'7.5" and 117 3/4 pounds.
What an advantage.
Yep.
You know, I was 5'7" and 148.
That's right. Well, most of the guys you fought were the same size. You and Napoles and Hedgemon Lewis, you were all right in there at that.
Exactly, 5'8", 5'9".
That's right.
But you can tell Barrera, by the way he's fighting right now, he's like hunting the prey down. He's looking for the opening. Of course, this is just the first round. In many cases, fighters of this caliber, they look for those punches that'll work for them right away.
Zuniga's the southpaw. He caught Barrera a moment ago with a right hand high. Well, I tell you, Barrera just looks like he's devastating in the punching department. But this kid, Zuniga's been in about with a lot of tough cookies. He's been in with the Russian, Yuri.
Oh, yeah.
Arbachikov, who's the WBC 112-pound champion. He's been in with Melkor, Cobb, Castro. Of course, he's lost to him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's been in with some of the very best fighters around.
And they haven't all been knockout losses.
Oh, no.
He's gone the distance with these guys.
Yep.
He's a tough cookie. It's a good test for Barrera should he win this fight.
Barrera backs him up.
If I were Zuniga, I would not be waiting for Barrera to come to me. I'd either run entirely or I'd be on top of him the whole time. Barrera needs a little distance to get those punches in.
He's got a 2-inch advantage in the reach department at 70 inches to 68. Down goes Zuniga, and I don't, for the life of me, know really which punch knocked him down. I don't know if he's going to get up. He's not going to get up. Oh, he is up. I don't know if he really wanted to, Mondo.
I don't think so. I think he took a shot. It looked like it's on the side of the back. Unless the right hand hit him first.
I thought it was a body punch, and he appears to be a little rubber leg.
But you know, that left hook that just landed didn't seem that hard, but the poor guy almost fell down from it. Whoa.
Zuniga with just a handful of seconds left in round one, trying to weather the storm. And he has taken a lot of left hands.
He made round one.
From Barrera. So we'll stay here and follow Zuniga back to his corner. He's seconds a little slow getting in there. He had tried to put his own stool down there to sit down on, looking for a place to sit, maybe a place to hide.
You know, Tom, it's hard to tell. Many fighters go in the ring, and when they come up against a guy who hits like a dog on a mule, it's really, really demoralizing.
Here's another look at the knockdown. There's the left hand.
That was the one that kind of landed before it. There you go.
Hit him right in the short ribs there. Caught him right in the liver with the left hand. But I think the left hook that hit him first, right there, had him in pretty bad shape. And then down he went after a left hand right to the liver. Sat there for a moment. And any fighter will tell you that if you get nailed there, I mean, and he hit a good shot, the pain is devastating. It's almost excruciating. And it seems to last forever. It's only probably 10 or 15 seconds, but it's enough that you don't want to get back up.
And I'll tell you, Tom, when you're fighting a guy like Barrera, it's not only a physical situation here, it's psychological, too, that you got to deal with.
That's right. You're in the ring with a guy that's 28-0, has knocked out 19 guys, is generally the consensus he is going to be the next bantamweight champion. If not, something's not right. The stars aren't in the right place or whatever. Yes. He is as big as a featherweight, as tall, and this is some kind of a fighter. He's only 20 years old. One would imagine this guy could grow up to be a lightweight, couldn't he?
Exactly. He probably will. He's 20 years old. He's just growing. Whoa! That's a good right uppercut followed by a left hook. Now those punches are going to land, Tom, because Zuniga is not doing much to avoid being hit by those kind of punches. He's bending over, trying to get away from a punch. I take it, but he's not doing much to block his punches.
No, and he's a southpaw, and he turns and exposes the right side of his body, and he's taken some real shots to the lower part of the body, and of course one of those was responsible for knocking him down in round one.
You know, and I just noticed Barrera is doing to Zuniga what most left-handers do to right-handers. They throw, of course, in this case, their left hand to the shot, the body, but Barrera's throwing the right hand along the right hand and connecting with it and making Zuniga feel the effect of that.
Barrera, the taller of the two, white trunks trimmed in green. Marco Antonio Barrera. And Zuniga appears to be in for a very tough evening tonight. Barrera hitting him with almost everything. This is round number 2. They're scheduled for 8. Boy, Barrera shows no emotion. Stoic. Not a hint of emotion on his face. All business. Boy, it's like walking into the bank and finding a loan officer there that's going to tell you, no, we aren't handing out any money today. That's the look he's got in his face.
With a sure look in the face.
Oh, boy.
That's got to be demoralizing.
Yeah. It's like, don't bring that act in here, pal. Tell you, Zuniga shows that he is a tough fighter. He's been in with some of the very best because he's taken some pretty solid shots.
You know, Barrera, you got to give the kid credit. He's very, very stoic, like you say, very sharp with his punches. He doesn't waver from what he's doing. He's got a fight plan. He follows through with it. The left jabs, they come through with an uppercut, the left hooks, and they're all landing.
All right, round 2 coming to a close. We'll be back. Out they come for round 3. Zuniga in the white trunks. In the white trimmed in green, Marco Antonio Barrera. This is scheduled for 8. Barrera knocked Zuniga down in the first round. And that shot he just hit him with in the short ribs was the punch that put him down. Zuniga, the southpaw, has taken some pretty serious leather from Barrera so far, but Zuniga's a tough guy. He's been in with a lot of good fighters.
You know, part of the emotion here at the actual fight, Tom, and that's what fight fans really anticipate. They know Barrera can hit, and they're just waiting to see the delivery. And I can see where Barrera is trying to set him up with a straight right hand that'll land. He'll follow that up with a left hook, and that'll be the person to knock him down.
I tell you, just as you were speaking about that right hand, he let one go. He stuck out a very stiff jab and threw the right behind it, and Zuniga just did get out of the way. Zuniga has fought the likes of Melchor Cobb Castro, one of the top flyweights and bantams. But in against the Russian. He's the WBC 112-pound champion. He's in tonight at 115 3/4. Barrera's 117 3/4.
Mistake by Zuniga. He shouldn't be in there taking his body shots. An old adage in boxing, stomach goes down, the hands go down.
That's right. Whoa! There's that right hand you were talking about. He dropped it right on him. Up at 5. I don't think he's going to get up. He rolled over. I think you're looking at Barrera, who's won his 29th in a row and his 20th knockout. Boy, he dropped that right hand on Armando just as you said he was loading it up. And he found the opening, and boom. Zuniga is up. He's still a bit wobble-legged, and they're going to get him back over to his corner. Adam Carnes is there, the doctor. Watch the right hand. Just a whistler. Right there. Dropped it right on him. Here it is. There's the jab, and boom. Good night. Knockout. We'll be back. The steps and into the squared circle will be Marco Antonio Barrera.
Espinoza, good, aggressive, hard worker, Tom. He's pretty good puncher, 21 KOs in his 29 victories. He's going to be at a disadvantage in height and reach here tonight against the taller and evidently still growing Marco Antonio Barrera.
He's got an age problem to worry about, too. This youngster climbing in is only 20, while Espinoza's 31.
Barrera looks like he should be singing in your choir on
That's right.
Sunday.
Yeah, right out of the Vienna Boys Choir. Saturday nights he's available for smokers and whack the populace around. Sundays in church singing. All right, you'll hear more about the baby-faced assassin and others. Jimmy Lennon Jr. has some introductions of his own. Jimmy, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our featured bout of the evening, at this time, we'd like to ask you to rise for the playing of our national anthem. In the ring at this time, to lead us, ladies and gentlemen, recently released CD, In the Park. Please welcome the Positive Music Records recording artist. How about a hand for Mike Gieler? Thank you very much to Mike Dealer. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us across the nation on Prime, we welcome you to the main event of the evening, a super bantamweight special attraction brought to you by Forum Boxing Incorporated, along with Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is William Eastman. The vice chairman in attendance, Willie Buchanan. Commissioner in attendance, Kim Welshons. Presenting to you the judges as appointed for this main event, Terry Smith, Lou Filippo, and Gwen Adair. Introducing to you the referee in charge of this bout. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Raul Cais. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. Super bantamweights in action, scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing blue trunks with white trim, and he hails from Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico. He weighed in at 121 pounds with a record of 29 wins, 8 losses, and 2 draws. He has 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Miguel Espinosa. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round main event. He is wearing white trunks with red and green trim. He hails from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in the same weight of 121 pounds. His outstanding record is unblemished, with 30 wins, no losses, and 20 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former NABF and Mexican super flyweight champion, and he's currently ranked the WBC number 5 bantamweight contender in the world. Introducing the undefeated Marco Antonio Barrera. Reminding you, scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Here's your referee in charge, Raul Cais.
Que muchachos, acuérdense que les di las instrucciones de abajo. Me hacen caso, todo lo que les diga. Dense la mano, buena suerte.
All right, the tail of the tape, Marco Antonio Barrera, 5'7.5". He's 4 inches taller than Espinosa. At 121, they weigh the same. He is 20, while Espinosa is 11 years older, and he's got a 2-inch advantage in the reach department. This is an undefeated 20-year-old who's 30-0 with 20 knockouts. 5'7.5", and obviously still growing. Last time we saw him, he was in the flyweight division. Here he is, a super bantam at 121, Rich.
Well, he was the former NABF, the former Mexican super flyweight champion also, Tom, and he simply outgrew the division. He was supposed to be defending his title at 115. His last fight showed up at 116.5. He just can't make that weight anymore.
No, and a lot of guys were ducking him. He had little future in that division because he just didn't have anybody that he could fight.
So he settled in that last fight at 116.5 for a decision victory over Carlos Salazar.
Miguel Espinosa, Mike Espinosa, lands a couple of counter shots with the right hand. Barrera's got a very good left hand. He's shown it a couple of times here early on in this first round, working it to the body. All business. Never seems to smile, never changes the expression on his face.
We saw Espinosa here last July, almost just about a year ago. Tommy fought Greg Richardson, the former champion of the world. Had Richardson down in that fight. And as the decision was announced by our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon, the fight was awarded to Espinosa. But after retallying the cards a few moments later, Jimmy went back to the microphone and announced that it in fact had been a draw, which was hotly disputed by Espinosa and the crowd in attendance.
Espinosa's in the blue trimmed in white, and the more colorful white trimmed in red and green of his native country is Marco Antonio Barrera. Mexico City youngster. His family quite devoted to his boxing career. They're very much tuned into what he's doing, very supportive. Nice counterpunch with that left hand, Rich. He really does some good work with it.
Well, you know, you see a record like his, and you immediately look at those knockouts, and you think, oh, this is a guy who's really a puncher and everything. But this is a kid who has a lot of skills. He's tall, first of all, and he takes advantage, Tom, of his height for his weight division. And he fights tall for his weight division. And he's a very sharp puncher. He's aggressive at the same time. Good stamina, stays busy in the ring. And takes a good wallop as well.
Yep. Espinosa, as round one is coming to a close, is a guy who's been around. They have fought before. And Barrera got a victory. Espinosa would like to turn that around. There's the bell.
That was in July of 1992, Tom, their first fight. So it's a couple of years between their bouts together. And that one, Barrera stopped Espinosa in 6 rounds.
We talk about the bantamweight division. We'll check the WBC standings in the bantamweight division. You can see Victor Rabanales is listed as the #1 contender. Marco Antonio Barrera, #5. However, sometimes the ratings don't quite catch up with what's transpired. In fact, Wayne McCullough posted a victory over Victor Rabanales, so one would assume that McCullough will rise in the standings and Rabanales will come down. This, of course, is brought to you by Tecate and Tecate Light. Tonight, do the tea thing.
Yusui Yakashuji, who you see as the champion there, will soon be defending his title against Chung Yun-gil, who was the second-ranked contender. So you would think that McCullough, after the victory over Rabanales, will probably move up to #1, be the mandatory. And this man here, Marco Antonio Barrera, with a chance perhaps to move up much, much higher now in the rankings.
Out they come for round #2. Espinosa in the blue trunks. He's the older of the two, the shorter of the two. He's 31, and he is 5'3½". Taller by 4 inches and younger by 11 years. It's Marco Antonio Barrera in the white, red, and green of his native Mexico. Espinosa's from Sinaloa, and Barrera is from Mexico City. (29-8-2). We don't. Pretty good left hand thrown by Barrera. Don't mean to lead you along the primrose path that you think Espinosa can't fight. He can. He's a very good fighter.
Well, we talked about the Richardson fight, and he had a sensational victory, Tom, in Culiacan, Mexico, back in November. He fought a pretty good fighter by the name of Francisco Montiel, and Espinosa was knocked down in that fight 3 times, yet came back to stop Montiel in that bout in 9 rounds. So he is game, he's got the heart, and he will try his best here tonight, you can be sure, against Barrera. Pretty good left hook by Espinosa in close.
Barrera, I don't know if he'd ever change expression. He never gives you any indication of what's going on out there, just deadpan.
I was just thinking the same thing, Tom, as I look after he took that left hook. It was like no change. I got that Joe Louis poker-faced expression.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to play poker with him. You wouldn't know if he had a pair, a straight, or a busted flush. Nice left jab by Barrera. Espinosa trying to nail him with that right hand, Rich, as though he could catch a little lightning in a bottle here.
Well, he's a pretty good hitter. 21 KOs in 29 fights.
He did nail him with the right hand. He did catch Barrera with the right hand. But again, no indication facially from Barrera that it was good, bad, or indifferent. But he did get hit.
And Espinosa trying to follow up here. That's a good idea. Barrera did have a little nod of respect after he got hit with that shot. Clean right. You were right, Tom. He was looking to set him up for that Sunday shot.
Round 2 coming to a close. We'll be back to see about more of this one.
As they begin round 3, take a look at the right hand from Espinosa in the second round. There it is, clean right. Knocks Barrera back a couple of feet.
Yeah, that was a stinger. That caught him a pretty good shot, and I think it certainly gained the attention, if not the respect, of Barrera.
The question is, Tom, did it gain the attention enough, that one shot by Espinosa, of the judges to win the round? On my card, I'm giving him the round.
Yeah, I did too. I thought he won the round anyway.
On effective punching, that was certainly the most effective punch of the round.
Barrera gives you a feeling of a kind of a matter-of-factness, a guy just going out to do a job. Never smiles, never gives you any facial expression one way or the other. Good left hand. Sticks it out, hooks it, rips it to the body. Espinosa again looking for a chance to throw that right hand. Lands with it again.
Looks as though he'd like to counter onto that jab by Barrera, and that's a problem for Barrera, because Barrera likes to put the left jab out there to start things off for him, and Espinosa's looking to counter it with the right hand over.
Espinosa at 31, even though he has a fine record of 29, 8-2 and 21 knockouts, may in this featherweight division have his best days behind him, but he certainly is fighting well tonight. Very cautious. When given the opportunity, he throws that left and follows it with a solid right, just missing on that occasion. We're here in round number 3. One would assume that the longer this fight goes, why the younger legs of Barrera at 20 will stand him in good stead, Rich.
Yes, and you know, Barrera really has a lot of fights for someone that young, at 20 years of age, Tom, so he's well accustomed to going a good distance of ground. And, you know, he turned pro in 1989. Now, he's only 20, which means that this kid was fighting as a professional when he was 16 years old.
Busy exchanging left hands. Barrera drops his to the midsection of Espinosa. Don't see much in the way of a right hand by Barrera. Reg, he throws that left, counters with it.
A little cautious in this round is Barrera, probably winning the round just on the strength of his jab alone.
Boxing skills, they're pretty good. Round 3 coming to a close. We'll be back right after this. Round number 4 scheduled for 10 super bantamweights at 121 pounds. The undefeated Marco Antonio Barrera in the white, red and green. In blue and white, Miguel Mike Espinosa, 31-year-old veteran. He's got a dandy record of 29-8-2. Barrera, as Rich and I were telling you a moment ago, is just a baby, 20 years of age, undefeated at 30-0 and 20 knockouts. Campaigned his way right up through the flyweight division. Here he is now to super bantam at 121 pounds. Big kid for that division, 5'7½".
Last time we saw him here at the Forum, back on March 1st, third round KO over Justo Zuniga. Not much of a match there. Had a pretty good fight from Coriano Ramirez about a year ago here at the Forum, but otherwise he's been pretty overwhelming against everyone he's fought here.
Yeah.
A little more offense to start the round by Barrera than we saw from him in round 3. Looking to work to the body of Espinosa.
A good exchange there a moment ago. A lot of the crowd pulling for Espinosa. They like that right hand he showed back in round number 2. Referee is Raul Caiz. Judges are Glenn Adair and Lou Filippo.
Well, Espinosa just missed with that right hand again coming in. I think, you know, that one right that Espinosa has landed has put some caution into the attack tonight of Barrera. Although, you know, he is a skilled fighter and he will box. But still, I think he felt that right hand, and he's using a cautious offensive offensive arsenal, although it is certainly more in evidence in this round in terms of utilizing both hands and doing a little more punching than he had in the last round.
Got an awfully good left hand, this kid Barrera. He jabs with it, he hooks with it, keeps you off balance, gets off first. He doesn't throw as many rights behind it as you might like. But I'll tell you, it's a very good left hand. He's the man marked. That was a nice combination thrown by Barrera. Left and a right. As Espinosa came in, but again, that's a solo left hand. And the jab, then he backs up and walks away.
He's frustrating Espinosa with the movement here in the jab now. There he tried to counter, Espinosa did off of the jab again, but missing badly that time.
It's like a welt, an abrasion of some sort under the left eye of Espinosa. And that left hand by Marco Barrera is helping it along, to be sure. We've completed 4 rounds of boxing here in this featherweight get-together. Forum Boxing is brought to you by Budweiser. And there's a lot more to come, so open a cold Bud and get ready with that clean, crisp taste that only comes from Beechwood Aging. Hey, this Bud's for you. We're over in the corner with Marco Antonio Barrera. Not a mark on him. Ricardo Maldonado, this is manager, Perez, Tony Rivera, Oscar Maldonado. Ricardo Maldonado has a lot of fine Mexican fighters, does a very good job for them. And I tell you, he's got what appears to be a champion right here, Rich Morales.
Well, many think that's the case, Tom. He's so skilled, and I think in his division right now, he has an opportunity to move up to second or third if he can get an impressive victory tonight.
Seems to be unmarked and unconcerned, this youngster, after a total of 30 fights at the tender age of 20.
The corner man of Espinosa in his corner. He didn't have an ice bag or an inswell there. He took just a one piece of ice.
Laid it on that welt under.
Put it on the welt, just like you grab out of your coat. And put it up there. There's no blood on that. It is a bruise, though, underneath the eye. That could pump up.
Indeed. That would be the big disadvantage to it, of course, that it would swell and in that regard help close the eye. It's not going to cause a flow of blood into the eye because it's well below it. And on the cheekbone portion on the left side of his face. Oh, nice combination. After a series of lefts, Barrera caught Espinosa with a right hand as they closed. And he has picked up the action here in round number 5.
Good, solid right hand, Tom. And Espinosa, for the first time, I think, really felt the power of Barrera in this fight. Barrera, though, very poised. Not wild, you know.
No, very conservative in his attack. I mean, he very seldom will throw. There's a kind of a weak effort at throwing the right hand, but he's content to hook in, jab you with that left, and then occasionally bring that right behind him. When he does, it's very effective. He's got that welt showing some red now. That is an awful good left hand he's got. And Espinosa is getting nailed by it. And every now and then a right hand. It's a pretty good round for Barrera so far, Rich.
Yes, and he showed some power in this round. I thought he'd be a little more offensive-minded after that, landing that shot. But, Tom, you know, the other side of the coin is that a guy who's 20 years old, landing a punch the way he did, might go hog wild and miss and go crazy trying to finish a guy off.
I don't think that'll ever be the case with this kid. He seems so controlled and so, you know, tuned in, knows exactly what his game plan is not going to deviate from it. He's tall and talented and tough. He's just a baby, really, at 20. I tell you, that is as good a left hand as you're going to see. He's got Espinosa's face showing the effects of some solid shots here now.
I think that bruise is just a result, Tom, of left jab after left jab, just pounding into that side of the face. Not power shots, but they add up.
And the round has quickly moved along. Round 5 is just about in the books. We'll be back to see about round 6 and the others after this.
As they start round 6 action, look back to round 5. Watch the flurry of punches. There's the clean right hand by Marco Antonio Barrera. It came amidst a flurry of punches that hurt Espinoza momentarily and was the best showing offensively by Barrera so far in the fight.
So the 6th round, the scoring, Rich Murata's card has Barrera up by 3 points at 49-46 after 5 rounds. The winner of the round here in California gets 10. And the loser a lesser number. But ordinarily that'd be a 10-9 round for a routine one-fighter victory. It knocks the guy down 10-8. Pretty good right hand by Espinoza as they exchange some solid shots over there. Weld under the left eye of Miguel Mike Espinoza. Marco Antonio Barrera, the young man in white, red, and green, is unmarked.
It's a good performance by Barrera, Tom, although it's not necessarily scintillating in terms of its excitement in the action, because I'm sure he realizes, you know, the things that we talked about in terms of Espinoza tonight, those 21 knockouts and 29 fights, the fact that he flattened Greg Richardson in one of the rounds of their fight and had a draw, that he came off the canvas to knock out Francisco Montiel last November. You have to be careful with a guy like this because he looks beaten, but watch out.
Pretty good exchange there as they stand face to face. Barrera's boxing skills come into play. Quite evident he is very adept at slipping punches. He got nailed with the right hand. Nobody slips away from all of them. But for the most part, he has been very effective with that jab, with the right hand of his own. And his boxing skills have given him, we think, an edge here over Espinoza as they battle away in round number 6.
And the first time these two fought, it was the 6th round where Barrera finished off Espinoza. That was 2 years ago.
Well, we'll see if lightning or a right hand strikes twice. Espinoza with a nice jab of his own sends a spray of water and sweat from the brow and the head of Barrera. Can't believe the corner wouldn't have an Enswell or ice over there or something for this kid. Maybe he's tougher than we think.
That lone piece of ice is probably melted by now.
Nice solid combinations by Barrera. Now on a right hand rocks Espinoza. Barrera warms to the task now, and a good left by Espinoza. And this is what the crowd came to see, Rich.
And actually, probably Espinoza is glad that Barrera's at least exchanging with him. He's got a chance to get some shots home, too.
Barrera drops him with a right hand. What a solid shot. Espinoza went down in his face. And now his corner is saying, stay down. His corner's in the ring. He can't get up. Boy, he was really decked. What a right hand by Marco Antonio Barrera. And I mean, they were toe-to-toe and really leveling at each other. Barrera got nailed with some shots from Espinoza, but like a brick coming out of a dark alley, right in the middle of his face. Down he went, flat on his face.
Tom, those were some very, very crisp punches coming from Marco Antonio Barrera. Really sharp punching. There's some blood showing above the eye now of Espinoza, but what a right hand. Crisp punches.
You can see a welt under the eye there on the left side. The only mark, Espinoza really outside from that welt under his left eye, not all that marked up. Watch it again as Rich is going up in the ring to get the interview. We'll show you again going back here to round number 6. The busy exchange. Both men leveling some pretty solid shots, and now stay tuned for a right hand. Here it is. They're coming your way. A left, a right hand, and there's the right, point of the chin. Boy, and I tell you, you are really hit when you go down flat on your face. There it is. Marco Antonio Barrera with 21 knockouts, 31 victories.
And these are lively performers.
Few would guess that Marco Antonio Barrera is a professional fighter. With his almost baby-faced appearance, it would be easy to imagine him as a student, or perhaps just an average young man who labors in one of any number of mundane careers. But a closer look into the eyes of Marco Antonio Barrera will tell you the real story. His eyes are the eyes of a fighter.
Well, it's in the blood. I've had it since I was a kid. My grandfather was a boxer. My father was a boxer. That's something that you just have within, and something that you would like to build upon and do more than they did.
There's little doubt that he's succeeding. Nicknamed the baby-faced assassin, Barrera was devastatingly effective as a super flyweight. But at only 20 years of age, he's still growing. And last April, he was unable to make the weight for a qualifying bout, which would have earned him a chance at the WBC super flyweight title.
I felt that I just couldn't fight against nature. I've been fighting over 3 years at super flyweight. I couldn't make the weight anymore. I can't fight with Mother Nature.
But so far, Mother Nature's been the only opponent that has managed to defeat Marco Antonio Barrera. With a record of 32-0 that includes 22 knockouts, he is currently the WBC's number 3 ranked bantamweight. Tonight, he climbs yet another level to the super bantamweight division. And while Barrera maintains he does not intend to stay at this weight, tonight's Pentacontinental Super Bantamweight title fight will tell us a great deal about the man with the eyes of a fighter.
Well, that kind of says it all, doesn't it? So there he is then, Marco Antonio Barrera. Very talented, good prospect, and hasn't come close to losing since turning pro back in 1989. And a very, very good prospect. Ranked number 7 by the Independent World Boxing Rankings. And sadly, boxing for the worthless Pentacontinental title. Barrera, former Mexican champion, NABF champion. And I'm afraid Jesus Sarabia has got a problem. He's lost his last 3. They were all championship contests. They were all good men that beat him. Beaten in 8 for an NABF title fight by Elvis Alvarez in 93. Armando Castro stopped him in 7 for a WBC international title fight. The last time out, Jesse Benavidez beat him on points over 12 in an NABF title fight. So, this man's got some good quality on his name, on his record. But when the good guys come along, they beat him. Although he is a former NABF champion. Beat Cecilio Espino in September of 92. Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us across the Southland on KCAL Channel 9, we welcome you to our featured bout of the evening as we present the Pentacontinental Super Bantamweight Championship brought to you by Forum Boxing Incorporated, along with the home of champions Caesar's Palace and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout is sanctioned by the Pentacontinental Boxing Union. The president is Thomas Hogan. Supervisor at ringside, Lorenzo Soberanes, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Commissioners, Dr. James Nave, Luther Mack, Nat Carasali, and Crispin Rivera. The chairman is Dr. Elias Ghanem. Executive Director, Mark Ratner. At this time, we present the judges scoring the bout from ringside. Bill Graham, Dave Moretti, and Al Siciliano, with the referee in charge to give instructions after the introductions, Toby Gibson. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, the Pentacontinental Super Bantamweight Championship, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing blue trunks with red and white trim, fighting out of Portland, Oregon, by way of Mazatlan, Sinaloa, Mexico. He weighed in at 121 1/2 pounds, with a record of 18 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws. He has 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former NABF Bantamweight champion, introducing Jesus Chuyin Sarabia. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner in this 12-round championship bout, wearing white trunks with red and green trim. He hails from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in at the same weight of 121 1/2 pounds, And his unblemished and perfect record includes 32 wins, no losses. 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former NABF Super Flyweight champion and the current number 3 WBC bantamweight in the world, introducing the undefeated fighter known as the baby-faced assassin, Marco Antonio Barrera.
So there you got it then. Marco Antonio Barrera from Mexico City against Jesus Sarabia, now based in Portland in Oregon. Nice place to be. From Mazatlan in Mexico originally. And Barrera, a former Mexican and NABF Super Flyweight champion. And he's completely leapt over the bantamweight division, now campaigning in the Super Bantamweight division. 5 feet 7.5. These in fact are two tall men really for Super Bantams. And nice long reaches too. So Barrera then looking forward to a WBC title fight. He's got to get through this one first though. He's ranked number 3 by the WBC. Their champion, Hector Acero Sanchez from the Dominican Republic. And if you feel that Barrera's a bit of a secret, you'd probably be right. He's never fought anyone that I would really recognise, so I shan't waste your time by running through a whole list of anonymous names. But he can fight, believe me. His last fight. Was it his last fight? No, he fought Elio Dominguez. My apologies, in 1893. One body punch in 45 seconds absolutely destroyed him. As an amateur, Barrera was 5 times national champion. 56 wins, only 4 losses in the amateur ranks. Very intelligent, bright man. He's very polite, well-mannered. Used to go to university in Mexico City. Always in a good fight. And his father's done well as well. He owns a company that makes background sets for films and commercials. So nice to see a bit of sense in the family. Only 21, you know. Barrera. Sarabia's a year older. And this is his first fight since 1993. So tough fight then. This one for Sarabia. Sarabia pro since 1990. And Barrera turned pro about 6 months earlier. And it's worth mentioning just a few other champions at this weight currently in the world. Wilfredo Vasquez, the Puerto Rican, is WBA champion still, and surprisingly. Already mentioned the WBC champion. Vuyani Bungu is the IBF champion. And Daniel Jimenez is WBO champion as Barrera takes round 1. Into round 2 then. In fact, Vuyani Bungu is from South Africa. I do like the way that Barrera puts his punches together. And he actually throws a pretty mean punch as well, going backwards, and that's always a great asset. At this weight, of course, they always come at you. Nice shot there for Barrera. Very cool, isn't he? Not even breaking a sweat. Expect to hear more about this man in the future. But it really is time that Marco Barrera got himself a step up in class to see exactly what he's made of. Very hard to tell, of course, against opposition that you can't really place. But you can't argue with an unbeaten record. 32 fights, 32 wins, 23 inside the limit. Nice defensive skills there from Barrera, just ducking and almost imperceptibly making these punches miss. And just to remind you, Sarabia's record, 18 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws, 15 stoppages. So a fair puncher himself. But he's been overmatched in his last 3, that's for sure. Body shot there, just slightly borderline. Toby Gibson, one of those referees, I'm afraid, that doesn't do a great deal for me, except make me cross. Good thing about him is he's staying out of the shot most of the time. Well, it's been a better round, I think, for Sarabia, but not winning it. And once again there, Barrera just a bit too loose with that body shot. And I would like to see Barrera getting slightly more serious about his job, because there's going to come a time when he's complacent against the wrong man. Of course, that's when danger strikes. Against a limited fighter like Sarabia, he might just get away with it, but there's some men out there who can give you a wicked time if you're not ready for them. Round 3. Well, lively start again from Sarabia. Well, and that's forced Barrera to sit down now on his heels, start putting some power behind his punches. That might just be the worst thing that Sarabia could have done. Force this man to fight. Good shot there. And that's what I meant about the complacency of Barrera. Getting caught with silly punches. Quite why Barrera is wearing Johnny Tapia's trunks is beyond me. In fact, he's got the name of Tapia emblazoned on the back. He'd love a fight with that man. What a fight that would be. Different weight, of course. Well, some fair boxing skills from Barrera now, at long range. Oh, nice shot. Good right hand there. Well, this could be a good night to Sarabia. Doesn't look too keen to beat the count. He's not knocked out cold, as you'd say, but He's not going to beat it.
8, 9.
Well, there was 2 8s there from the referee. Back to school for Toby Gibson. So, a 4th round knockout win then for Marco Antonio Barrera. There's the shot again, that on the side of the jaw.
Gentlemen, we have the time of